The light kind of makes it look like from behind my head there's an angelic, but there's also like a balding. Like,
I like it. I like it.
No. I don't care for it at all, sir. Anyway, Psychedelic Experience, it is a record run video. That was like John Woo, like doves.
You've got the old finger guns out.
I am a finger guns guy, or at least I used to be.
Are you ever like, hey, do you do the...
I would do more about...
A little bit. Cocking the trigger rather than...
Cocking the trigger, yeah, but double cocking it. Double cock? Double cock, what? Not that type of video.
Where'd we upload this one?
Oh my gosh. Alright, we're back with another Psychedelic Experience record run. This is our 39th.
Yes. It's exciting.
It's the big 4-0 next time, man.
Yeah.
Our record videos will be over the hill. Alright, so... I want to thank everybody for the feedback on the last one. We know it had been forever since we had posted, and the sort of overwhelmingly positive reception that we got. Really appreciate that, gang, and we will try to address those comments and a couple thank yous and shout outs. So big thank you to everybody, but I'm going to specifically address a comment here from Jay Holbert, who asked that we show some newer stuff we've been listening to, and so I'm going to start out with Black Angel's Death Song. This is their LP from 2017. Mellow Yellow and I saw them in St. Louis, and it was a pretty good show, and I picked this up there. Obviously appreciate the Velvet Underground reference there. And then this is one of those bands, we were talking about this on our radio show last week, how a lot of psych groups say things like, if you thought our records were good, man, what really was us was our live. Same with the Black Angels. This is a really, really good capturing of what they do live. I got to see them again in Indianapolis earlier this year, and it was mind-blowing. Check out the Black Angels, and if they aren't coming anywhere near you, check out Death Song, their most recent LP.
Alright, so I counted and I still have 30 records to show from the Vintage Vinyl Hall. I'm not going to take up all of our record run videos with just that. So this is going to be the last record run video with those. So this is kind of the best of the rest. And then I might do some solo vids just to kind of get those out of the way and caught up. So, first up, for I believe this was $8 sealed.
Nice.
This was the Collector's Grass and Wild Strawberries. I'll show you. Just very plain gatefold there. The Collector's, their first album. Love it. It's amazing. It's really, really good. Psych rock from Canada. I always want to say from Canada. From Canada, this is kind of in a similar vein, but maybe a little more proggy in spots than the first album is. This doesn't get quite as it's not garage on the first one, but it's a little more kind of up-tempo psych. This one's not quite that heavy, but there are still some great things on here. Grass and Wild Strawberries is very good. Early Morning, and then the closing track, Sheep on the Hillside, is very good as well. I do enjoy that one quite a bit. I would say their first one is like an essential cheap grab. If you see this one's under $10 as well. It's worth picking up. It's not quite on that level. It's kind of a step below, but it is still very good.
So, not necessarily psych, but definitely 1967 chill. This is from a while back. Astrid or Astrud, I don't know. I don't speak Portuguese. But Beach Samba from 1967. It's on Verve. Obviously, you recognize her voice, or you will recognize her voice from her work with her husband. Gets some Gilberto fame. She is the vocalist from Girl from Ipanema, but in her own right, she was a great musician, and the first track on this one is called Stay and We'll Make Sex with Music, and boy, it's a great song. This is a really cool one. Find it in your jazz section. Cool mid to late 60s jazz vocal that is really super chill, very great music for dinner.
Yes.
Great dinner music. Astrid Gilberto. Enjoy.
This is one you picked up, and I believe for the same price. This is the incredible string band, The Hangman's Beautiful Daughter, for $4.99 at Vintage Vinyl. this is great. This is fantastic. I think I do like this better than the 5,000 Spirits.
I think it's their best LP.
Yeah, put that cover on here, you got a winner.
Oh, well, they're both winners. They're both really good.
They're both great, but this one, I think this one is kind of like...
It's the deeper psychedelic of the two.
It is, and I think it's kind of like 2 steps above. I really like 5,000 Spirits, but it's folky, you know, it's kind of rooted in that traditional folk, and it's pretty much stays there. Like you said, this one gets a little bit more experimental, a little bit more folk psych, and I really, really enjoyed this record. Waltz of the New Moon, the Water Song, and the Water Song 3 is a Green Crown. Those 2 tracks back to back, boy. And then side 1, Witch's Hat on side 1 is great. The Minotaur song, it's all really, really good. And I'm not even that big of a British folk fan, but this, it's just, there's a reason these guys are known as like it for that scene. It's fantastic.
A song when the world was new, waters.
Next one up for me is actually a comp. I am not big on showing comps, but this is a promo comp, if you can believe it, from 1968 on the RCA Victor label. This is the Group Quake. I rented it, I think I paid like $3 for this. The 68 stuff from RCA, of course, was fantastic. So we got the Youngbloods on here. We got a track from Auto Salvage's self-titled LP. A track from Group Therapy, The Loading Zone, and The Family Tree. Nice. So, kind of, again...
Stone Country, don't sleep on Stone Country.
Don't sleep on Stone Country, yeah. So, but for a comp that I was going to pay just a couple bucks for, in really good condition, I thought, I kind of got to pick that up. It's just another aspect of the sort of record industry that you kind of forget about. Yeah. And so, this was a cool one. We've played a few things from this on the show.
Say it's a cool sampling of, like you said, of that year and that label and what they were doing. Yeah. It's pretty cool. All right, from 1968, this is the Bubblegum Machine. I think, I paid $14.99 for it. I left the price stickers on so I would remember because I knew it would be a long time before we got around to these. Yeah. This is one, I actually picked this up probably like a month after I was done with the haul, but it had been there from the beginning and I was like, man, it's gonna be bubblegum music. It's in the title. It is the Bubblegum Machine. It's gonna be bubblegum pop.
But you like bubblegum.
But look at this cover! And I do like it. And I picked it up, and it's actually a little bit more of a rock album than Bubblegum.
Cool.
It's Bubblegum elements. It's really well done. It's well produced. It's on a small label, Senate Records.
Subsidiary of, it's right there, ABC.
ABC. Yeah, this is a really cool album. If you're not a fan of the bubblegum pop, and you see this, I think you can still go ahead and take a chance on it because there are those rock elements there. The psychedelia is very light, kind of a light touch, but that's kind of what you expect with bubblegum kind of stuff. But a little bit more guitar play going on than the keyboards and things like that. So this is I'm glad I took a chance on this one.
That's why I love you.
This one I stole from this guy over here. He gave me this for like $5. This is the soundtrack to This Is Spinal Tap,
my business partner did, and I was like,
the Black Album, and the question, of course, how much more black could this be? Well, without the sticker, none more black. But it's a promo copy too. Gatefold. Obviously, it's the soundtrack to the 1984 Rob Reiner, Christopher Guest effort. They got a lot of fun stuff right in that movie. Anybody who's ever been in a touring band of any level will tell you that there's something in Spinal Tap that you're like, they're just right about that. Like, how did they know? But they're right about it. Of course, those guys were real musicians, but the soundtrack is fun in general if you like the film. And there really are 3 or 4 tracks that are kind of reflective of our genre and reflective of Spinal Tap before they became the Tap.
It's not too late.
Also, from 1968, the Gordian Knot. This is on Verve. Looking at this, you might think, oh, pop psych,
I have
maybe a little bit more
this.
Sunshine.
Yeah.
And it kind of is. Like the Bubblegum Machine is a little bit more rock, this is a little bit more pop. There are 2 tracks that are kind of like psychedelia. They may be pop in nature, but they are a little bit deeper and trippier. It is The Year of the Sun on side 2 And I can't remember what the other one is now. It's been a while, folks. I apologize. Yeah, this is a really enjoyable album. I got this for 13 bucks. It goes for a little bit more than that, not a ton, but just another one to kind of add to that kind of pop psych nugget from the 60s and add it to the collection. I'm a sucker for it, and I can't, when I get them, even if I don't love them, I can't let them go.
Another fun little gatefold here. This is Malachi. Yeah. So Malachi is straight up sitar, guitar, chill out meditation music. I don't recall any major lyricism on this whatsoever. This is the cover. You saw the gatefold. Here's a picture of him on the back. It's listed as psychedelic rock / experimental avant-garde. It certainly is that. You can pick copies. I think I got this for like 14 or 15 bucks. It was not all that much. Fun little liner notes. I'm not going to read them here, but you know, all kinds of statements about how Malachi is the future and stuff like that. But a true artifact de la 60s right there. So cool one to pick up, and it is legitimately relaxing. I will say that.
Alright, we're going back to 1968. Surprise, surprise, more pop psych. This is the Griffin. Love that cover. It's a really great cover. Also on ABC Records. And this is like straight pop psych. A little heavier on the pop probably than on the psych for the most part. But again, there are a few nuggets kind of dotted throughout. A little bit more of a psychedelic production going on. The title track, The World's Filled with Love, open side 2. Well, they do kind of a running theme throughout where it's like a 30-second little clip. And then it closes side 2 with a full 3-minute version that kind of plays upon the theme that they've been going with.
I love the liner notes here.
Yes.
Once, long ago, in a land of beautiful gardens and rippling waterfalls, there lived a strange and wonderful creature.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love it, man. Really good stuff. I paid $12.99 for this. This one goes for like $30 and $35 on
nice.
So it was a good deal on
Good
that.
deal, yeah.
Have been all together like birds of a feather.
Now some fun stuff. This is actually one that Mellow Yellow and I both picked up a copy of. This is kind of our sort of cleanup of the vintage vinyl haul. That's there too. So both he and I got a copy of The Glitter House. Say it quickly. This is Colorblind. Yeah, go ahead and pull your copy out and don't cross the streams.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit out there. It's definitely housed in the vocal pop psych
totally
element, but it stretches it.
There are only 3 tracks on here under 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like everything is like 4 to 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot
Tinkerbell's
of fun.
Mind, the opening track is really, really good.
Yeah.
But there are some really good things on it, like Child of Darkness is a good one.
I think Times Are Getting Hard is one I like on
that's
the
a
back.
good one too,
So
yeah.
really, really good.
Fun names. I think I paid $13 for mine. Mine was sealed.
And mine
but you can
was...
see it was a cutout.
Yeah, well, and I've got a cut too on mine, and really the only thing graphically wrong with it's got a little scuff down there, but I think this one was 8.
Yeah.
So
Not too
it goes
shabby.
for a little more than that, but you can find cheap copies online,
totally.
and it's another one where like somebody who's not super into psych but is like, oh, I'll try it out. Great record for that.
Totally.
Great record for that.
This is one you almost popped on a copy, but the inserts were stuck together, right?
They were stuck together and stuck to the cover.
Yes.
That's how humid it is in St. Louis in the
Yeah,
summers.
yeah. So I found a budget copy that does not have the inserts at all, but I only paid $4.99 for this.
Ooh.
This is the Seeds Future. All right, so the Seeds on their debut album, and then Web of Sound is that kind of crunchy garage psych. And then on Future, they get a little more hippy dippy trippy.
Yeah, that's
a little
what I've
more
read.
kind of flower powery. And speaking of, there's a track called, if I can find it,
March of the Flower Children.
March of the Flower Children, and then Flower Lady and Her Assistant, and then to close side 2, to close the album, a 7.5 minute long track called Fallen, where they really just kind of let it go. They jam out a little bit, get a little floaty. It's a very good album.
The Stooges, Funhouse, goes that, whichever, what? And I picked this one up online. It was advertised as being a early 70s French repress. and it's not. I think it's probably late 70s, maybe even early to mid 80s, which is a big disappointment. This sticker is kind of wrong for the era, or at least that's the research I found. If somebody knows something to the contrary though, it's just like, oh no, that's totally it, tell me please, I'll be very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
But man, it's still Funhouse.
Totally.
This pressing sounds pretty good. I would doubt it's as good as an original, but I love the Stooges, man. I still give the edge to their self-titled album, but this one grows on me every single time I listen to it, and yeah, I really like this. So obviously I'd love to get an original someday.
I don't know how you're looking at me.
Record fight.
Teaser in the business. Alright, going back to 1968, kind of a running theme with this video. Here is one that's really tough to find, actually. This is the Ever-Present Fullness on White Whale. This was $24.99. I paid up a little bit for this, but it's one that it just recently got added to Discogs, I don't know, a few months ago, so it didn't even have a listing on it.
Really? That's interesting.
And looking at Pop Psych and eBay and things, it looks like it usually goes for around $75.
Wow,
so
nice.
It's a good deal on here. This is a different one. This is kind of garage rock, again, 1968, but it sounds like 1965 or 66. It's a little bit dated, and there's a reason. The band was recording the album. They did not like the direction White Whale was wanting them to go, and so they stopped recording the album, quit the sessions, and just left. And then White Whale brought in some session guys and finished like their half-finished songs. This is one like, man, I wish the group had been able to do what they wanted to do. In 66, this probably would have turned out to be a really hard rock and garage album. I could be wrong about that. Maybe they wanted to go in a more folky direction and White Whale tried to go the other way. I don't know, but it's a cool artifact of the time, and it's a cool nugget of history of relationships between record studios and companies and the bands at the time. The companies really wanted to put those thumbs on the bands, and sometimes the bands rebelled, and it didn't always work out in their favor.
Sapphire Thinkers, I think, was the album that was produced after this. This was the second thing ever done on Hobbit Records. This is Rockin' Foo.
I love it.
And it's good. It's not deeply psychedelic, although some tracks are very guitar driven, and it's sort of it's got the 70s rock vibe. It is from 1969, but in any case, cool record. The gatefold is as simple dimple as it can possibly be, but yeah, I really have, as I've dug deeper into this one, I thought at first, man, this is something I'm going to keep, but it's going to be a passive listen. And every time I've put it on the turntable, I've ended up just, on the futon.
Nice.
Maybe I need to give this a little bit more credit. So if you see this one, you shouldn't have to pay a lot for it. This one was sealed, and I got it for less than $10.
Solid.
And it's really good.
Two to go, and the last two are kind of in a similar vein. This is from 1969. This is Banshee. I paid $24.99. This is tied for the most I paid for a record at this little haul. Fantastic, like late 60s, early 70s hard rock sound, with a couple exceptions. There are a few kind of floaty psych tracks as well, which work. But overall, this is just really good late 60s kind of hard rock. Again, a little bit of psychedelic touches and flourishes on a few tracks, but it's not super heavy. It's not like this isn't a tripped out album or anything, but this is a really good rockin' album. I would love to find, I believe they had a second album. I may be totally wrong on that now. I don't know. That's going to get cut out.
Doing a little bit of a repeater here. I know that Mellow Yellow has talked about this, I would say recently, but it's probably best to just say within our last few videos. But this is 1969's Friend Sound Joyride.
Very cool. I forgot you got this.
Oh man, this is another one where I've seen that this can go for a lot.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's not a through the moon or anything like that.
30 or 40
yeah, you can.
sometimes.
Yeah, you'll see it for that. This is one of those ones where Guy had it marked at $10 at the record show. I offered 8, and he's like, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so, and it's in really, really good shape. Music concrete, not everyone's taste, but again, one of those offshoots of psychedelia. KRFG, if you're out there and this is your record, someone stole it from you, but it now belongs to me.
Well, well done for playing anything off of this album on the radio.
Yeah, absolutely. I just kind of doubt, this one's from RCA, but I'm going to go ahead and say I doubt this got a lot of airplay during the daytime hours, if you know what I mean. The Night Circus probably had to play this one.
Alright, the last one from 1970. This is kind of straight hard rock, maybe a little bit of a blues rock edge to it. The group is Jodo, the album is Guts. Paid $19.99 for this, actually bought 2 copies, each for $19.99, sold the other one, kept this one. This one goes for big bucks, I mean like 90 to 100 bucks.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
2 copies.
Good score.
Musically, this is kind of straight hard rock. Again, a little bit of a blues crunch to it. I believe they were from the UK, so you get a little bit of that British blues rock influence going on, kind of like Black Cat Bones or something like that. Upon first listen, I was like, this is worth a lot, and I don't really care for this. I think I'm going to sell both copies. And then I was like, well, you don't find it very often. And then since then, I've listened to it a few times, and I'm like, that's actually pretty good for what it is. I can see why it's sought after. It is not for just being obscure and rare, but it is pretty good musically as well. Yeah, pretty happy to add that one to the old collection as well.
All right, last but certainly not least from me, this is my most recent pickup. So this is stuff from last summer and something that I bought today. A birthday gift to myself. I had some trade-in. I never thought I'd see this record. It was marked lower than the median and mean price on Discogs. I cannot believe that I own a copy of Power Plant, The Golden Dawn. Man, yeah, no seam splits. Got a little bit of ring wear there, but I mean, with a cover this vibrant, it almost, I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter. Of course, obviously you want one, but I don't know, it's not even coming through all that much there on the camera. I went way outside my comfort zone, but still feel like I got a steal of a deal on this.
Oh,
and
you
again,
totally did. Yeah.
It's one you're just not gonna see. So.
Yeah.
Big thanks to Recycled Records in Springfield.
Man, I'm so jealous of this. I already know it's going to be #1 in the top 10.
See, you think that, but I also try to keep my average price low.
You do, that's true. That will shoot through the moon.
Last year I won that battle. Well, very good finds for you, sir.
You as well. Some heavy hitters. Golden Dawn.
Happy to have it. Happy to lord it over you.
I've got all year to be jealous now.
All right, folks. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks again to everybody who leaves comments. We really appreciate it. We'll try to keep pumping these out every 2 weeks or so. Until the next time, avoid scratches and stay in the groove.